Hello, this is the first video from Brown Dog Press and what we will likely call the North Asheville Tea Garden. Brown Dog Press is a small publishing company that puts out older foreign language books on coffee, tea, and drink culture in English translation for the first time. We started growing tea plants at our home in Asheville in an effort to get some practical knowledge to help make our books more relevant to the modern grower. What you're seeing here is our first planting. It's a combination of plants we obtained from the Camellia Forest Nursery in Chapel Hill, as well as plants we obtained from seeds taken from heritage plants growing in Charleston, South Carolina. You may also see some wild turkeys are running up the street. Oh my. There's a bit of a turkey fight going on in our tea garden. I have to say, the turkeys have been great for the plants. They come through in a brigade and pick insects off to keep our plants healthy. Well, as I said, it's October. The leaves are falling from the trees and the plants are starting to flower. The seeds from last year are also maturing, and they're to the point that we can harvest some. And that's why we planned our trip to visit the older plant in Tarboro. The goal is to bring back some seeds to add to our collection. This is a view of our second planted area. The taller plants to the left-hand side of the screen are seedlings from the Sochi variety. The mother plants are also grown here in western North Carolina. The seeds were passed to a local nursery, and that's where we obtained our seedlings. The slightly shorter seedlings toward the middle of the screen are all South Carolina heritage varieties that we've grown, and the back row of taller plants are a Taiwan variety from Camellia Forest. One goal is to produce mountain oolong tea from plants here in Asheville. Our elevation is the same as the mountains in Taiwan where oolong is grown, and so our hope is that our climate will give us leaves that produce a good quality oolong with proper processing. This is our seedling nursery. We planted this in 2021 with seeds we picked up in Charleston, South Carolina, along with a few picked up in Spartanburg, South Carolina in the upstate. Our best seedlings are about 6 inches tall, so not quite big enough to set out. Ideally, the plants would be a minimum of 8 inches high with a stem about the thickness of a pencil. That would be into the second year of growth. We'll bring these plants inside for the winter, keep them watered, maybe a little fertilizer, and then hopefully have them ready to be set out in spring 2023, 2 years after the seeds were first planted. The little pot in the front with no plants actually has seeds we picked up in 2022 during a visit to Charleston last month. We'll see what those become and hopefully be able to add them to our planting. It's now Saturday and we're hitting the road to head to Tarboro. It's like we got our coffee and our tea. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Loaded up and we're ready to roll. We're stopping for our second cup of coffee. Stopping for a second cup of coffee on the other side of Hickory. Got a third of the way there. Not quite 6 o'clock. Sun hadn't come up, but making great time. Our stop in Greensboro, Tape Coffee Shop. Third cup of tea, third cup of coffee for the morning. Get refreshed and get back on the road. Well, we arrived at the church, and here's one of the tea plants. There's actually several in the cemetery. As you move across, I don't know if you can see the one in the far distance. We're actually right in front of the entrance to the church. And there's another plant that's actually quite large right here.
That gives good perspective.
Yeah, so we're going to take a little time here and see if we can pick some seeds up off the ground just beneath them. They're starting to drop, so hopefully we'll come home with a handful. Well, we've found several plants actually in the garden here, but this is a very large tree. If you can separate that from the tree behind it, it's about to the bottom of the light pole where the glass takes off, and it's got lots of seeds around it and underneath it. We're going to take a few of those with us. Here's a little bit closer view. These are fairly small leaved. Yeah, as you can see, not real big. But the plant looks really healthy. As we move around, you can see it's got multiple stalks, multiple trunks, I guess, growing right near the grave of Mary Pippin, who was only 10 months old. There she is, only 10 months old when she passed away in 1862. This seems to be the Pippin family plot, as there's several Pippin graves nearby, all in the 1900s when they passed. I want to give a more panoramic view of the cemetery. It's very pretty. We found a total of 10 plants in the area, and they're scattered all through the cemetery. It's about the size of one city block, so certainly worth our visit today. All right, the Zine Fest. We made it. The Zine machine. So we made a stop at Camellia Forest in Tarboro to pick up a few more plants to take back with us, and learned a really neat story that they're going to put in a classroom, and that's the building that we see over here. We'll also have tea processing machinery with the idea of letting local growers bring in their leaf to have it processed. That'll be a fun development to watch for. The greenhouses I've just shown you have the plants they're growing over the winter for sale next year period. They were kind enough to sell us a few of the oolong varieties we're taking back to Asheville to add to our collection and our planting. All right, we've got the car loaded and we're about to head back to Asheville with the end of our trip. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Watch for more as we try to uncover more hidden tea plants.